internal structures of the heart. On this drawing, you can see anterior wall of the heart removed, but still we see a lot of familiar structures. Inferior vena cava and superior vena cava entering right atrium. From the right atrium, through the tricuspid valve, blood travels into the right ventricle. This whole thing is the right ventricle. From there, through pulmonary valve, it travels into pulmonary trunk, which bifurcates into left pulmonary and right pulmonary. Right pulmonary is hidden behind aorta and superior vena cava, but here you can see its segment. Blood is returned via right and left pulmonary veins into the left atrium, and then through the bicuspid valve, also known as mitral valve, blood travels into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, it travels through the aortic valve into aorta. Now let's focus our attention at the valves. Two valves are located between atria and ventricles. Atria and ventricles, we call them atrioventricular valves. That is tricuspid and bicuspid valves. And two are on the exit from the ventricles, pulmonary and aortic valves. And they're called semilunar valves because of the structure of the valve itself. They all are somewhat located in the same plane. So if I were to cut the heart like this, I would actually see all valves in the same plane. So this is a cross-section through the heart. This would be anterior, this would be posterior. So the most anterior structure on the heart is pulmonary trunk. So this valve then is a pulmonary valve. Right behind the pulmonary valve is aorta. So this valve is then aortic valve. And these two are then atrioventricular valves. One is tricuspid and one is bicuspid. See if you could guess. Tricuspid is called so because it has three cusps. So this is tricuspid valve. And this is bicuspid because it only has two. Okay. Now let's focus our attention at the atrioventricular valves. Tricuspid and bicuspid valves. You would notice that the valve cusps are attached via strings or cords to the apical structures, to the muscle at the apex of the heart. These cords are called chordae tendineae, and they are attached to a finger-like projections of a myocardium called papillary muscles. Papilla means finger-like projection. Also, the inside surface of the chamber here is not very smooth. It consists of multiple trabeculations. Those are called trabeculae carni. I don't know if you know any Spanish, but that root in Latin and Spanish are common, and it means meat or muscle, right? So, meaty trabeculae. This is another drawing of the heart, and you can clearly identify the strings or chordae tendineae over here, and papillary muscles. This one is cut, and here it is, okay? And trabeculae carni are seen very well here and here. This is a left lateral view. You can see the heart and the left ventricle cut open. Over here, you could recognize a left atrium with left and right pulmonary veins entering it. And here you can see left ventricle chamber open. So this valve would be a mitral or bicuspid valve. And very clearly here are chordae tendineae. Look at them. They really look like strings attached to papillary muscles. Two papillary muscles on the left side. Okay? And trabeculae carni are seen very well. Do you see those trabeculations all over? So that's trabeculae carni. Same view, except for we open the atrium as well. So this then is the wall that separates right and left atria, and we call it interatrial septum. Do not confuse inter and intra. Inter means in between, just like in the word international, whereas intra means inside. So interatrial septum is the wall in between the atria. And of course, this structure then separates the right and left ventricles, and by analogy we will call it interventricular septum. On this view, you can clearly see interventricular septum separating right and left ventricles. Now for dessert, let's look at the echocardiogram, which is an ultrasound of the heart. We also have a program here at OIT, a baccalaureate program in echocardiography, so please look into that if that interests you. A particular study will show you the apical view, where a transducer is placed at the apex of the heart, so we are peeking at it from below. That is why heart appears upside down and backwards. So let's look at it.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally I can see